and welcome. Tonight's been an interesting night. A lot of synchronicity going on here. Oh my gosh. Anyways, we'll leave that for another story. So I want to welcome everyone here tonight and thank you for coming. And so tonight we're talking about synchronicity and numbers. You know, the repetition of numbers. Because synchronicity can mean a lot of different things. So what happens is it's something that's familiar, maybe it's coincidental, duplication. So synchronicity has a lot of different meanings. So tonight, what we're all going to discuss is going to be in numbers. You know, the physical reality, our DNA, is coded with numbers. And the synchronicity of numbers, the duplication of numbers, is what actually activates our DNA. Now, that is really, I found it a very interesting fact. I didn't know how many of you know that, but it's like, wow, hey, this is kind of cool. So how many times I want to ask you, have you seen 1111? You know, 1111. I've seen that a lot over the years. And sometimes I see it more often than others, but it's like it's always there. It's always there. And that is the awareness part of your DNA that's being woken up. And when we look at everything that's going on in the world today, it's that activation time, which is really kind of cool. So it's a lot of fun. So the genetics and the cellular memory is triggered by these codes, not just 1111, but all different kinds of codes. And the reason why I bring up 1111 is because, you know, most people have seen that. I've seen it on the radio. I've seen it on the clock. It's like every time I turn around, when I'm looking and checking the time, I see it. I see it on license plates. You know, so it's kind of like all around me. So where have you seen it? And by the time we get through with tonight, I hope you start to see the significance and the synchronicity in what numbers are all about. You know, so if we take 11 and we take 11 and we add the two together, we get what? We get 22. 22 is a power number. And that kind of takes us into numerology. Now, I don't know if anyone out there has listened to numerology or have studied any kind of numerology or knows anything about it, but you can look these things up on the internet. It's all over. I mean, it's just an array of information. So 22 is that power number, and that's a combination of two 11s. And there's significance in that. And that significance has to do with balancing your masculine and your feminine properties, visionary, it helps with your intuition. So those are some of the things that 11 in numerology means, and then 22 being that power number, of course. So the awareness opens with more synchronicity as we continue and numbers show up in your life. So the comprehension expands as we move through things, and the repetition in numbers. And each one of these is significant to different happenings throughout your life. So you may find yourself, like I said, waking up to the clock every, you know, you go to bed early and you wake up in the middle of the night and you look over at the clock and there it is. You know, all these different numbers are significant of different things. You wake up at the same time. Maybe you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and it says 333 or 444 or 555. And we'll get into that and what those things mean as well, okay? So as we're looking at what transpired over civilizations of history, where they utilized the significance and the synchronicity of what these numbers were, whether it was in 3 animals or 3 trees in one place or 3 birds flying over, there was also something significant to them in numbers. And they wrote this down. And we've had an opportunity to study that. And that is just one of the great finds. As far as I'm concerned, I think it's great, right? So let's look at what these messages are. Because the ancient civilizations looked at these messages being messages from the angels. And that still holds true today. So let's look at triple ones. 111. What does that mean? It's the thought of opening to an opportunity. So when you start seeing 3 digits of 1, it's an opportunity that is coming your way. You know, it may have been a goal or a thought or a master something to that effect, and all of a sudden you start seeing 111, 111. What does this mean? This means that this is a time for you to take this opportunity and run with it, grab a hold of it, and go for it. Because that's what it's telling you. There's messages here. And when you hear and what those messages are and you understand what they are, things in your life begin to change. And that's what's significant of all these numbers. You know, so let's look at what that opportunity is, what that goal may be, what that conversation was when you start seeing these 111s. And then focus on that. Focus on what that opportunity is. Don't let anything else get in the way. Start focusing on what the outcome of what you want that opportunity to be. And then when you start seeing 222, so 3 2s in a row, it's the planting season. So when you've taken this opportunity, now is your time to start planting it. So when you're starting to take action and you're putting it into activity and you're doing things, you're nurturing it, you're feeding it, you're watering it, you're bringing it into bloom, you're going to start seeing these 222s. So know where the 111s are when it's your opportunity, and then start nurturing that and planting that and getting your 222s. And then what's going to show up out of nowhere are going to be 333s. Oh my gosh, what are those? They're associated with the Ascended Masters. Now you're probably saying, what are Ascended Masters? Well, the Ascended Masters can be like Archangel Michael, or Raphael, Gabriel, even Jesus is an Ascended Master. They're angels of a higher level of spirituality. And they're here to assist you and to guide you and to direct you, to help you take your opportunity that you're feeding and nurturing and put a lot of direction and assistance in it so that it can really turn into something huge and that outcome can happen. And then let's go to 444. Well, what's the significance of that? That is angels being all around you. And these angels could be maybe someone who has passed on, like a parent or a sibling, maybe a child, or one of your best friends. And all of a sudden you begin seeing 444. This may be significant and in synchronicity with that spirit, that soul of them, saying that, hey, you know, I'm here. I'm really not that far away. And I see what you're doing, and I'm all excited for you, and I'm behind you. You know, I'm throwing some stuff out here at you. Kind of listen to me. Pay attention. I'm here. I haven't left. I'm just not in this physical body that you can see, touch, taste, and smell. Right? This is what's so awesome about the whole thing. Then we go into 555. Now, that's significant of life-changing things happening really soon. So these are life changes, significant life changes. And so, you know, stay focused on what events are going on in your life. What is happening in your life? This opportunity that you have, that you've been seeding, maybe it's already reached its harvest time. And it's time to close it down and start to reap the benefits of it. So start watching what these 555s are significant of, right? And then as we move into 666, now this is the one that kind of scares most people because we've been taught that, oh wow, 3 6s mean it's evil, it's the devil, it's Lucifer, it's everything that's bad. Well, not necessarily. So let's broaden that perspective. Let's broaden that mind tonight for a few moments here and take a look at what 666 is really all about. Okay? It's your thoughts being out of balance. That's right, out of balance. So when you're not focusing and living in that higher elevation, you begin spiraling in an unhealthy direction. And so when you are wrapped up in the material things of the world, especially when you're desperate, when there's a scarcity or there's a fear, this is when 666 can take us into that unhealthy thought and that unhealthy action and that unhealthy activity begins to perform around us. So watch where the scales are when you start seeing 666, right? Are you focused or are you maybe living life out of fear? let's kind of reverse that. Let's start moving into the spiritual aspect of things and start taking those little devilish things and moving them into the higher spirit, up into the angelic realm. That's what 666 is all about, right? And then let's go to 777. Wow, what better place to be than right here in Las Vegas? All right? 7 is your lucky number, right? So there really is something to be said about that, because 777s are winning numbers. You're being congratulated, you're being awarded, you're on a roll. It's telling you to, hey, keep going, keep going, keep going. You're there, you're almost there, you're getting close to the finish line, you know, keep on going. That's what 777s are. And they're awesome to have. So really wake up when you see 777, you know you're in the flow. That's right. So let's take a look now at 888. That is when something is really coming to completion. It's coming to an end. So when you look at where your opportunity began, where your planting was, where your assistance from the divine came, you know, the other little angels floating around helping you, maybe someone who has passed, right? The significant changes that were taking place, you know, whoa, maybe you kind of got a little nervous and scared in there, so you kind of had to start getting back on track. And then all of a sudden you got in the roll. And here it is, 888. Yes, we're coming really into that final stretch. You're right here. You're right there at the finish line. And now you're going to reap the benefits of everything that just took place. So that's that completion process. That's the ending. And it may be the end of a career and the start of something new. It may be a retirement party, because now you're beginning a new segment of your life. And the synchronicity in this is really crucial. So pay attention. Really pay attention. You know, it's the end. It's telling you there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And you know what? That light's not a train. How awesome is that? All right? So now let's go ahead and move up to 999s. And the 9 is the completion of everything. And that is the end of a big phase. And that's the phase, I guess I should have said, maybe that phase is where you're moving into the retirement of your life, that transformation of your life. And this is where when you start seeing 999, if you're an energy worker, if you're helping to heal the planet, because Mother Earth is going through a very trying time right now. She's doing a lot of purging and a lot of transformation, as are our physical bodies, our mental bodies, our emotional bodies, our spiritual bodies. We are now in a major, major transformation time in life. So the synchronicity of each one of these triplication of numbers is very, very critical at this time in our life. So become aware of all your surroundings. Become aware of nature and everything that's going on in life. And that brings us to 000. Yes, they really do mean something. That means life has come full circle. Full circle. And it's a reminder that you're one with the higher power. You're one with the divine. And you're one with everything else on this planet. Every human, every animal, everything in nature. We are all one with each other and one with the Creator that put all of this beauty into play. The only difference is we experience this life here the way we want to, the way we choose to. That doesn't change the synchronicity and what all these numbers mean. Because this is a way that you can start living your life when you start paying attention as to what's going on around you. And actually, this is part of the whole duality world. We spoke about duality last month. So if you didn't listen to duality, now's your opportunity to go and listen, because it's really awesome. It really, really is. So find out where you stand in the world of duality and where you stand in the world of synchronicity. what crosses your path and why, and where you take yourself and why. It all has meaning. And I hope tonight helped to put maybe fuel for thought up there and expanded your awareness. So send me a lot of loving, because I really need it tonight. And share this little video with all your friends and your family. And open up to the world of synchronicity. And have a great time with it. Bye for now, and we'll see you next week. If you have any questions, be sure and put them down there in that comment box, because I'll answer them next week. So we'll see you next week for another time with Synchronicity. Thank you so much for joining me.